Welcome back, students. We have finally reached the last module in the Digital Design AV course at Georgia Virtual. The name of this module is Career Prep. Now remember, in order to get to your modules, when you log into Canvas, you need to select the Home tab, which is here, and then you want to click on the name of your module. In this case, you're going to click Career Prep. Next, you're going to see the overview of the course as well as the various lessons. So start with your overview. Okay, this is going to let you know what you're going to be learning, and then go into your lessons so that you can actually learn the material for the course. As you go through your lessons, you're going to run into different assignments and different projects and quizzes and so forth. Let's take a look at the essential questions and the key terms for this module. Make sure you're able to answer the essential questions by the end of the module. The key terms are career portfolio and resume. Some of the essential questions are: why is a professional portfolio important? What does it take to become a digital designer? So just make sure you're able to answer these at the end of the module, and make sure you're able to use your key terms in a sentence. Let's take a look at the first assignment. This is the career research assignment. For this assignment, you're going to research a career in the digital design field. You're going to also create a web page representing the information that you've gathered and researched. So you will be turning in the link to your web page. And now remember, when you're creating this web page, you are creating it from scratch using Notepad or a similar tool. So you want to make sure that you submit the link, and it should look similar to the example that you see here on the screen. So you're not going to use a site like Wix or Google Sites or anything like that to build your web page. This is going to be done using HTML code, using Notepad. Okay. So here are the requirements. You want to have a header with the name of your digital design career. You want to have a subtitle under the header. This is going to have your name. And then you want to have the following information on your web page. So that's going to be detailed description of your career, any roles and duties, the salary for your career, what type of education is required, and then what type of skills are needed. Now, the website that I recommend that you use is the Occupational Outlook Handbook website. It has a ton of careers on there, or you can just Google the information that you need for the career that you're researching. You also need to have a picture, so one visual that relates to the career. So here's an example of the person's picture here. Then it asks for 2 colors on your web page. One color should be applied to the entire background. As you can see in this example, there is a color on the background here. And then the other color should be applied to your text. Or it can be applied to the header or subtitle, either one. So notice this person's text is in pink. So just keep that in mind. Format and layout should be professional. It should be clean. Try to be creative. All right. So make sure you read over the directions carefully, and then submit the HTML link to the Dropbox. Remember too, if you are having issues submitting your link, you can always take a screenshot showing me your web page as well, or you can reach out to me and let me know you're having issues so we can figure out what you're doing wrong. Now let's take a look at our next assignment. This is a capstone project. It is capstone 4D, which is your video. So this one should be fun for you guys. Let's take a look at the directions. For this capstone project, you're going to create an animated video using a Web 2.0 tool or software program of your choice. The theme of the video is going to be going somewhere. Please make sure that you refer to your modules and to your previous assignments to make sure that you are doing your video correctly. Now, I will also say there's an example in Canvas right underneath these instructions. Here's the video example here that shows you kind of what your animation should look like. So if you're needing an example, if you're a visual person, please watch this short video so that you can see what's expected of you, okay? You're going to be required to turn in the link to your video, or you can turn in the MP4 file to your video, just depending on how you created your animation. Here are some of the requirements. There should be an opening title to your video. So remember, the theme is going somewhere. So wherever you're going, you want to have a title. It should include the title Capstone Project 4D Video. It should also include your first and last name and the name of your animated video. Make sure you try to use a creative title. Okay. You're not allowed to apply animation tools that are not originally created by you. So don't add any GIFs that are already animated into your video or anything like that. Remember, you want to do the animation. So depending on what tool you're using, let's just say we're using PowerPoint. Remember, you have to create the slides and move your objects to create the animation yourself. Okay. Let's move on here. You must have a minimum of 5 animations as a part of your video. So there must be multiple animations. Don't just animate like a ball, for example, and that's it. Okay, you want to be creative, think outside of the box. At least 5 different animations going on within your video. Okay. Again, when you watch this example, you're going to understand and see that there's a lot of different animations going on, not just one single thing. All right, as you're going somewhere, you must show that you are passing things such as houses or trees or cars or people, depending on what your topic is. So you want to see some things passing. Okay. Your video needs to be between 45 seconds and 1 minute. So please check the video. Don't look at this example and say, hey, this video is only 11 seconds. Know that this is just an example. You want to make sure it's 45 seconds to 1 minute. You must use an avatar version of yourself somewhere in the animation. A lot of people use Bitmojis. You may know of another site where you can create an avatar. However you want to do it is fine. Just make sure you have that within your video. Next, in one part of your video, you, something, someone, whichever one, must stop and make a comment. So there should be some kind of dialogue and text that we see throughout the animation. Again, you'll see all of this in the example. As you're going somewhere, you see a billboard or a bus or something with a picture of your fitness studio business and its logo. So there needs to be an advertisement within your video that shows the logo for your fitness business and the name of your fitness business as well. That's important. It also tells you to add music or audio somewhere in your video as well. Okay, so please read over these things carefully and include them into your animation. Next up, we're going to have another discussion interview. So you have applied for a web designer position at one of the most prestigious tech companies in town. That company is called none other than Gas Tech. So they've called you up and they've scheduled an interview for you, and you are wanting to prepare for the interview by practicing answering interview questions. So below, I give you 3 interview questions that I want you to answer on the discussion board. Okay? So these are questions that employers may ask you in an interview. Make sure you answer these questions in complete sentences as if you were actually responding to an actual interview. So question number 1, what strengths do you think are most important in a web designer? Question number 2, what would you do if you were asked to perform a task and you weren't sure how to complete the task? And then question 3, why do you want to work for us, meaning Gas Tech? Okay, so you want to answer those questions within the discussion. Don't forget to respond to 2 other classmates. this module does have 2 capstone projects. So now we're looking at part 5, which is a reflection. Okay, so for this one, you're going to upload and share your completed animation video. So this is the video that you created previously that we just mentioned. You want to put this into the discussion forum so that your classmates can see what you've done. Reflect on your experience in 3 to 5 complete sentences. Respond to at least 2 of your classmates' posts with questions or with comments related to their animated video. Okay, so this one should be fun because you get to see what your classmates did as well. You get to kind of share your thoughts, share your ideas, maybe talk about things that they could have changed or done differently, or things that you loved, or however you want to go about that. Now, here's how you can put your video into the discussion forum. You can upload your video to your Google Drive or your OneDrive, and you can put the link into the discussion forum. You can also put your video on YouTube. You can make it a private or public video and share the YouTube link in the discussion. So these are just some ways that you can put your video into the discussion. Now you can also upload your video within the discussion forum as well. Sometimes that takes a little bit longer to do, so you might want to consider uploading to one of the platforms listed here, and then just sharing the link in the discussion forum. Next up, we have the resume and the cover letter assignment. So this is a very good assignment. A resume is something that you're going to need as you move throughout your professional career. And of course, you always need to know how to write a professional cover letter. So this assignment is going to allow you to do both of those. I will say I highly recommend that you use a resume template for this assignment, and I always recommend using Canva. Okay, Canva, not Canvas. I know it sounds the same. Canva.com is what I typically recommend for my students for a lot of assignments because they have so many templates, and I think it's user friendly. So try searching for resume templates in Canva, and I'm going that route unless you know of another platform that you would prefer, and that'll be fine too. Alright, so here are the directions. For this assignment, you're going to create a resume and a cover letter for a job that you're interested in the digital design field. You will make up the information that you need to place on your cover letter and your resume, except for, and I can't see what it says because I put something over. I think it says except for your name. Okay, of course you don't want to make up your name. Keep in mind that there are different formats and templates that you can use to create a resume. However, make sure you use the one that's most appropriate. Make sure it's professional for your digital design career field. When you're done, you're going to submit 2 separate files. Your cover letter is going to be a separate file. It's going to be either on a Word document or Google Doc. By the way, we really don't accept Google Docs, so don't do a Google Doc unless you save it as a PDF. Okay, save the Google Doc as a PDF. But anyway, put it on a Word doc, and also you're going to turn in your resume as well. These are 2 separate documents. Do not put them together, please. Okay. Here are the requirements for the cover letter. You need to have a heading with your contact information. You need to have your full address, and it tells you exactly what to have here. And then you need to use the 3-paragraph structure. So please read to see what you need to include in your 3 paragraphs for your cover letter. If you don't remember what the purpose of a cover letter is, make sure you do your research to see why you are writing this letter. All right. This is all related to your job interview. Your resume requirements. Here's what you need to do. And this is not in any particular order, but you need to make sure that each part that's listed here below is included in your resume. Your resume, typically try to keep it to 1 page if you can, but 1 to 2 pages only. Make sure you have your contact information here. Make sure you have an objective on your resume tailored to the position that you are applying for. Make sure you give me a summary of your skills, and your skills should highlight the position. All right, it should make sense for what you're applying for. Make sure you have your education. What kind of education do you have? Training, certifications, work experience, volunteer experience. Now, if you need to make up some of these things, you may have to. so that your resume isn't just blank, right? Put any awards or recognition, and then references, okay? It's always a good idea to have 3 references. This one says 2, and that's okay. You can have 2 references. Make sure you have their name, their job title, their address, phone number, email is always good as well. And then look at the format down here, okay? All right, let's move on. Next up, we have the career portfolio project. Now, this is going to round off, this is the last assignment in this module and the last assignment for the course. But for this one, you're going to be creating a professional career portfolio. This is sometimes called an e-portfolio. I highly recommend using Google Sites because I just think it's more user-friendly. But there are a lot of different other free tools that you can use that allows you to build a portfolio. But again, I recommend Google Sites. That's just what I recommend. You can also do it actually through Canva. Canva allows you to do web pages as well. But for this project, create an e-portfolio that represents the work that you've completed throughout the course. Okay? Search around for the right tool that you want to use. When you get ready to turn this in, you're going to submit the link to your portfolio. Make sure you include your name on the portfolio. It needs to stand out. There must be 3 personal reflections added to 3 of your works. Okay? Your reflections should discuss steps taken and problems that you've encountered throughout your projects. You also need to make sure the visual presentation of your e-portfolio looks good. Make sure the quality and content is organized. And this is very important here. Make sure you have a tab within your portfolio that's called About, and then you want to write about yourself. Okay, so talk about your goals and your current interests. So make sure you have that tab that's called About. Now here are the requirements for your portfolio. Basically, you're just going to upload all of the work that you've done. Now these should be on different tabs. Please do not have one tab and have all of your work just on one page. Don't do that. Go ahead and make tabs for each one of these and place each assignment in a different tab. So you'll have the About page, and then you'll have these 13 here. Okay, and if you want a home page as well, that kind of has some information like a picture of you or the name of the project or whatever, that's fine as well. Okay, all right. Don't forget, there's always a quiz. So for the career prep module, you have a quiz at the end. You get 35 minutes to answer 10 multiple choice questions, so make sure you prepare for that. Make sure you check your rubrics to ensure that you do everything according to the guidelines. And as always, one last time, make sure you fill out that course checklist. Write down the due date and the date that you completed the work. Yes, y'all. So that is the end of this presentation. Hopefully this helped you understand a little bit more what is required of you. Remember, I do have my weekly newsletters that has examples. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions as well. Thank you guys for watching, and you are done with the course. So let's celebrate. All right. Thanks, guys.